Hey, welcome back to my channel. I'm Gabby. This is the Ink Bunny, and today is the April theme readathon announcement. So I've been talking about April all month. Like, I set up a bunch of TBRs throughout the year to help me go through my TBR. And those are books that I haven't read yet that have just been kind of piling up in my home. And I decided that I would start with older books first, and that was a horrible idea. While I did escape the March marathon victorious, I was not unscathed. I think I could survive 6-7 more years without reading another vampire book. I definitely overdid it, and it was definitely just not my scene. So this month we're going to get back to our roots. April's readathon theme is female-led mysteries. And I have 8 that I'm going to go over with you. And these are going to be the 8 books that I'm going to be reading in April. There is going to be a tiny mini readathon towards the end of the month, full of Nancy Drews, because the 28th of April is Nancy Drew's birthday, and what better way to celebrate? So, I will do a separate video for that, probably in the middle of the month, so that if you want to read those books with me, you can. So let's get started. The first book that I want to read is By the Time You Read This, I'll Be Gone by Stephanie Kuhn. It is a murder she wrote. It is a newer murder she wrote. This does not follow Jessica, but this follows her great niece, Beatrice. And she still lives in Cabot Cove, Maine, and she loves unsolved murders just like her great aunt. Her friend Jackson goes missing, and she decides to try and find him. And there is this kind of like game with students from this elite academy. So she realizes if she wants to get any actual information that she will have to play. And that's the story. I'm very excited about this one. It is 283 pages, and I believe that this is the start of a series. So, woot. The next book I'm going to read is See Jane Run by Hannah Jane. This is like the 4th Hannah Jane book that I own. I've read 3 of them so far, and they were all amazing. So this is one that fits the bill, and this is basically about a girl named Riley, and she gets like a postcard in her bag, and the postcard says, "I know who you are." And she thinks that it's a joke, but then she realizes that her parents are very like overprotective, and there's been some like missing girls, and she's trying to figure out the connection. So I'm going to read that, and this one comes in at 272 pages. The next book I'm excited about is My Flawless Lie by Yvonne Woon. So not only do we have female-led, we have Asian lead and own voices, so that's pretty awesome. And this one is like scandal. This student here, she goes to the super elite school, and if you want something fixed, you want something to go away, she's your girl. But secrets start stacking up on her, and she has to decide what she'll release and what she'll keep behind. So I'm excited about that. And this one is super new. I think it was released like maybe a month ago. 337 pages. The next book on the list is The Headmaster's List by Melissa De La Cruz. And the front says, one of them was driving, one of them was high, one of them screamed, one of them died. Back says scream, float, crash. 4 teens, 3 suspects, 1 burning question. Who would want a high school sophomore dead? And this one is also a little bit thick, and it comes in at 392 pages. The next book I'm going to read is The Ivies by Alexa Dawn. And this is basically just about a girl named Olivia who is investigating 5 senior girls at the academy that she goes to, and they'll do nothing to like get into the college of their dreams. But in this clique, ambition reigns and sabotage is part of the game. But one of the Ivies is found dead hours after getting into Harvard, and she begins to question how far her friends will go. With a murderer on the loose, will Olivia's own acceptance letter become her death sentence? Now, Alexa Dawn, if that sounds familiar, wrote Pretty Dead Queens, which chef's kiss. So I'm super excited and hope that this lives up to the hype. And this book ends out, oh, it's got pretty like a snippet of Pretty Dead Queens in here in the back. Okay, so the pages end at 313. Next one I have is a little dear to my heart. So the book girlies and I finished the Holly Jackson series, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and 2 of us read Killjoy, so that was the end of the series because Killjoy was like a prequel. But she has a new book out called 5 Survive, and I'm very, very, very excited to get back into some Holly Jackson goodness. Okay, so this one says 8 hours, 6 friends, and 5 survive. Red Kinney is on a road trip for spring break with 5 friends. Her best friend and her older brother, his perfect girlfriend, a friend from school, and the guy that Red wishes was more than a friend, but they won't make it to their destination. When their RV breaks down in the middle of nowhere with no cell service, they'll soon realize this is no accident. With 8 hours until dawn, the 6 friends must escape and figure out which of them is the target. So, I'm excited about that. This one's a little bit on the thick side, though. Looks like it is 388 pages. Alrighty. Last 2. Next one is One of Us is Next by Karen M. McManus. This is a sequel to One of Us is Lying, which I read 3 years ago in one sitting. It was a Sunday, I sat down on my couch, I started reading it, and then I got out like 4 hours later, I was done, and I was floored. So, on to this one. Now, you'll notice that there is a bookmark sticking out this guy. I have already started this. There are 2 books on this list that I have already started reading and then set down to read something else. Another portion of my TBR is books that are half, quarter, 3/3, a third finished. So I want to get rid of those as well. So these last 2 are books. So you can see the little bookmark. These last 2 are books that have been pre-started and haven't finished. So I'm going to add them to the list so I can get them out of here and make room for new guys. So One of Us is Next is following a new cast of characters, and it's a new school year at Bayview, and no secret is safe. So it looks like after Simon passed from the first book, that's not a spoiler, it's in the back of the first book. It's part of the synopsis, so don't come for me. In this one, it looks like a bunch of copycat gossip apps have popped up since he died, but in the year after, no one could fill the gossip void like he could. So now it's not an app, it's a game, and it's called Truth or Dare. Like the first target is Phoebe, then comes Maeve, and by the time Knox is about to be tagged, things have gotten dangerous. The dares have become deadly, and it looks like even though he's gone, someone's determined to keep Simon's legacy at Bayview High alive, and this one comes with a whole new set of rules. So I'm very excited. I am currently on page 63 of this, and there are, oh boy, this guy's a thickum. There are 375 pages in this. Last book is Close Up by Amanda Quick. And if that sounds familiar, that's because 2-ish years ago, I read Tightrope, and it was spectacular. Spectacular. So when I saw this, I had to pick it up. Now this one, in the 1930s, and it's in Burning Cove, California, and there's a ruthless serial killer on the loose. We're gonna follow an art photographer. Her name is Vivian Brazier, and she just wants to make money from her art. But it's not quite paying the bills yet, so she works as a crime scene photographer. what? So her photos reveal something different about the crimes than before. So then she starts to work closely with the rough and tough detective, Nick Sundridge, who can see things that others can't. And together they are going to be on the hunt for the dagger killer. As I stated, I have already started this. I am on page 41 of this book, and there are 293 pages in this. So, that was the last book on our April TBR, and this is my April TBR. We'll be doing these 8 books for April, and then make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss out on the mini readathon of the Nancy Drew books for her birthday. I'm Gabby. This is the Ink Bunny, and I'll see you next time. Hug out.